Hey, YouTubers, really important article here I want to read for housing crisis. And I want to read it because I brought this up. If you guys remember, and people know me and been following me for the last 4 years on this thing, know what I'm talking. Well, actually, it's been 3.5 years been following me on the housing crisis segment. Know what I'm talking about. When I told you guys various times that I spoke to company owners, employers that have to relocate out of Vancouver because they can't find employees. Right? A lot of times, a lot of the people that move in don't they have the money, but they don't qualify for the jobs in the area, and that's become a big problem. And unlike government jobs, the private sector needs to pay CPP, IUI, unemployment, all those things. The government needs to pay all that stuff. And the sad part is, uh, the employers need to pay that to the government, CPP, IUI, remittance, payroll remittance, and it gets very costly. And if you have a seat filler working for you, just a waste of money. Anyways, let's start here. How employers are feeling with the wrath of Toronto's housing bubble. So back to what I said about Vancouver a year ago up to 2 years ago. At the end of recent hiring process, recruiting firm IQ Partners believed it had found a perfect candidate in vice presidency with the Canadian Professional Sales Association. He ticked all boxes, a senior executive in the fields with the right resume and the requisite expertise. He wanted the job too, but he turned it down for one reason: Toronto's housing prices. After looking at listings, the candidate realized he couldn't afford a comparable home in a move from Mississauga to a neighborhood closer to the CPSA's downtown office. Despite it being a very attractive job and being interested, he decided to decline simply because of the complications around home prices, said IQ Partners managing partner Bruce Powell. These situations happen all the time. Increasingly, recruiters and employers are grappling to with an apprehensive job seeker. I'm sorry, guys, I'm reading this through a screen. Who simply aren't sure Toronto warrants its soaring real estate prices. Typical wage gains have fallen far behind the housing prices, which jumped more than 30% in the past year. 30% in the past year. And when people look at me and say, "You're crazy," when I was reading that article 6 months ago, they're like, "You're crazy that the Canadian Toronto housing market." Yeah, once all the taxes were put here in Vancouver, the tsunami went east, like I told you guys. The issue appears to be the most acute with executive positions, which attract talent with higher housing expectations. This is a state of emergency right now, said Toronto Region Board of Trade President and Chief Executive Janet De Silva. Portuguese, by the way. Portugal. The need to reduce housing costs to avoid seriously damaging the local job markets. The challenge is that at a certain point, it's both the housing market and the lack of regional transit, and it's double whammy. Twice in the past month, at a dinner of international CEOs and during a visit from Saudi Arabian delegation, Toronto's international business community identified a looming housing crisis of top-of-the-mind concern, Ms. De Silva said. Portuguese. It's just an overall cost of doing business in Toronto and their ability to recruit the talent they want, she said. As a result of recruiters are seeing candidates take jobs closer to their bedroom communities, forcing business to either move out of the city or toward its core, like I was telling you guys, and I've been saying for this for 2 years, and if you guys follow my videos, you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. Companies aren't geographically positioned around transportation hubs, aren't as attractive, Mr. Powell said. He believes that the IQ Partners wasn't located across from Union Station. Many of his employees who commuted from the GO train from places such as Ajax, Barrie, Milton, and Oakville wouldn't be able to work for him, because they're right by the GO train station, there by Union Station. So it's really important, you know what I'm saying? Women in particular are choosing to abandon job searches, unable to juggle the cost of housing with families and long commutes, according to Ms. De Silva. As a result, the board and Board of Trade had begun to research into the impact through the real estate market has already had Toronto's ability to attract talent. So guys, this is a long article. I'm going to leave a link below for you guys to read it. I've been talking about this. I don't know if you guys remember. I've been talking about this forever. I've been talking about how employers have to relocate. I've spoken. I'm not going to mention his name. There's three of them. Well, one guy is John, but he told me it's fine. I could talk about it. And John told me that he's been a customer at my store for years, and he finally set up a beautiful company with his two partners, and they set up a beautiful company doing job placement, job search, shark type of thing like that, and it's working really well. But they need more staff, and they need to expand, and they're moving to. He told me, I talked to him on the phone the other day. He's moving out to Langley, because Langley is like kind of a halfway point to Chilliwack, and the people that he's interviewing are from Chilliwack, and they're not going to drive an hour and a half to come into Vancouver to work. And so that's just it. The thing is with employers, okay, I hire people. I have quite a few employees actually, and the payroll admittance, you got to pay the CPP, IUI, you got to pay that. Some of it gets paid from the employees' checks, but some of it gets paid obviously from, you know what I'm saying? Gets paid from my pocket, right? From the company, right? And then you got your PST, you got all these other, you got to pay, right? And then you got to pay the employee's wage, you got to pay all that stuff, right? In the end, it costs a lot, and you can't have seat fillers. There's a lot of places that have seat fillers, but they're fooling themselves thinking, oh, no, you need to hire people that qualify, that know how to do the job and don't play games. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about this, because this is a really good article, and this is something I've been talking about for the last 2 years here in Vancouver. Employers, oh, Mike, I gotta move my company, man. I don't want to leave Vancouver. What's wrong? Man, my employees can't come. They can't come into work. They have to commute for an hour and a half. I'm like, hire somebody local. Nobody qualifies. Oh, I do job. No, you don't know how to get out. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you guys. Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. And it's a thing that's happening, and I've been talking about this for ages. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.